Welcome to RAD Adventure. Today, I'm going to do a hike in Crystal Cove State Park. The 5-mile hike, listed as difficult, it takes a few hours, but this hike, it actually has a really good view over the ocean as you come back around before you descend. So let's get started. As you come up to the visitor center, there's a board here that shows you the trail suggestions. The difficult hike incorporates this steep ridge here, but there's a really nice viewpoint on the way back on Moro Ridge. Really nice view of the ocean. As you leave the visitor center, the lot has a paid parking. You can use QR code or text to pay for your day use fee. There's no dogs allowed on the upper parts of the hiking trail. As you start the hike, leaving the visitor center to the east, or kind of uphill instead of towards the beach, we're going to take the uphill loop instead of going down through the canyon. But you'll see some signs here, little bench area, some different birds and snakes, some signs showing you the different birds and snakes that you may encounter along the trail. And you'll see, careful out here, rattlesnakes. My wife and I, we have seen a rattlesnake on the trail, so it's something you want to be cautious of. You will see some mountain bikers actually impressively riding up some of these steep canyons, but no e-bikes are allowed, so keep that in mind. As soon as you hit the trailhead on the red outer perimeter trail leaving the visitor center, it makes a climb uphill. You'll see we will end up coming around that ridge, and then you'll see the canyon trail that you will drop down. But we'll have a really good view. Still a little bit cloudy early in the day. It's not quite noon yet. Some really nice viewpoints up on the trail in Crystal Cove. Down below here is the visitor center. If you take the yellow trail, you'll kind of cross near the campgrounds, and you may be able to see where the trail winds its way down, and it comes up this canyon. So you could see down in the bottom of that canyon, the trail winds its way through the middle of the canyons down to the back. You can see where the trail we're on this ridge comes around, and it connects with that canyon trail down and below. But we're going to loop around and connect back up this ridge, and we'll go around. But the views are really spectacular once you get up to that ridge up above there. So I've come to the junction here where you go to the right to connect with the ridge trail. This is my first time taking this route, but we're going to connect with that trail on the other side of the canyon there and go up that ridge. We're going to have to go to the right to reconnect with the turnoff there at that ridge. Just a short distance to reconnect and go up the ridge. Take a left. This is the east cut across trail up to Moro Ridge, and it's about 1.1 miles. Starting to climb up the east cutoff trail. But all along the hike, it's early October right now. We're seeing quite a bit of mosquitoes. So you definitely want to bring some bug spray. And depending on the time of year, you might want to bring some sunscreen as well. Along the pathways, you'll see a lot of plants, insects, and animals. This guy here is a tiny acrobat, or a darkling beetle. And you see plenty of other insects, as I mentioned, mosquitoes. But also you'll see plants, and some of them will be what they call sticky fruit or lemonade berry type of plants. Making a few curves and switchbacks here on the way up on the east cutoff. For a while there, we're going to lose view of the ocean until we come all the way up around on top of the ridge up above there. We're in the middle of the steep climb. On a summer day, this ridge right here is where you might find a little bit of shade to take a break, maybe get some water. It is nice that they preserve this wilderness area right here close to the beach for public use. We're gaining elevation now. In the distance, you could start to see the outline of Catalina Island across the ocean there. It's about 26 to 28 miles from here. Are you swatting bugs? At the near the top of the east cut across, there's a little junction here, and you stay to the right. It'll take you to Moro Ridge. So right now we made it across the east cut across, and now we have a 1.6 mile across the ridge and a descent back around towards the day use area. At the top of the ridge here, you'll see a habitat restoration area, and this one is for the western spadefoot toads. And just when you think you've reached the top of the ridge, you haven't quite reached the top, but you really start to feel the ocean breeze, and you start to pick up the views of the ocean. As you come around the end of Moro Ridge, you'll see there are a few areas where they'll have like utility turn-off areas. Some of them, like the one behind me on the right that we just passed, are access to the utility poles. But you'll see the trail marker here if you just stay straight on the trail, as it curves to the right a little bit at the end of the ridge, and you start to overlook the ocean. And right there on the map, you can see the little turnoff behind me on the left. It just kind of goes to a dead end. Continue. But we're about to make a really steep descent back down towards the day use area. So this is pretty much the summit of the hike before the descent. And in my background there, you can see the Pacific Ocean with views of Catalina Island in the distance. Cloudy. Oftentimes, even in the summer, it's a little overcast until after 12, 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This is one of the last views of the south side. It's a really nice beach area. You can walk underneath Pacific Coast Highway, and it comes up and a little strip of beachfront area there just down below here. We'll see that here shortly. Winding my way down the trail, and just a good spot to stop and enjoy the view. In the background here, you can see in the distance there's Newport Beach, Huntington Beach. Way off in the distance is like the Port of Los Angeles, Long Beach area, and way in the distance there. But you can see where we're at here, all of this is part of the Crystal Cove. Down below is the visitor center, and on this side here down below is the campground and the beach area. It's still a little overcast, but weather's cloudy and doesn't look like that's breaking up. You can see the visitor center is over in the distance there. There's some day use areas here with like little covered pavilions and picnic tables. And there's a parking area, and up above you see the RV park. But one thing to note, if you pay for your day use parking, whether you pay at the visitor center or in that parking lot down there for the beachfront, it serves for both areas. So if you want to do a hike earlier in the day and you want to move your car and come down to the parking lot, the pass you pay for at the visitor center parking area, it works and is good for the parking lot down below here to go to the beach. See, we've made it around almost to the bottom of Moro Ridge. There's an access point here off the Pacific Coast Highway that comes in off the side right there. So this last section, some of the dirt is pretty steep, it's a little rough, but you still see some mountain bike tires, so I'm sure people are riding it all the time. And that's something to watch out for behind you as well as you're walking down. This is another habitat restoration area here. Yeah, I thought the trail was a little rough back there. It gets really rough and bumpy and slippery the closer you get towards the bottom. But just make sure you have some good shoes. You cross a little bridge, and as you come down to the bottom of that ridge, you'll connect with the main trail. This is the yellow trail here that winds its way up through the canyon. So as you come out, you'll see the lower parking area there. There's a sign here to stay to the right to go back to the visitor center. Okay, but if you need a short break, you can step over to the lower parking area and use some of the picnic tables. Give you a view here. Here's a little turnoff right here to one of the picnic table areas. Just has a basic wooden structure cover with the cement table. Nice little space, and you'll see they have some binoculars set up for viewpoints and information boards about the area and for bird watching. Here's another covered area, like referred to as a field station. The last one was for bird watching. This one is for bugs and butterflies. And you'll see they'll have the storyboards and the informative panels displayed here. It's a really nice setup in this canyon. So this is the lower parking area, and you'll see as you come in, it comes all the way to the back, close to the bottom of the canyon back here, and there's a QR code there for parking. As I mentioned, if you pay in here or up above at the visitor center, you only have to pay once. You can visit the hiking trails, also visit the beach. Here's a little amphitheater back here, environmental study loop and amphitheater. It's an area that's all been restored. You'll see the covered areas here as it winds its way around. And this is the little amphitheater. You have the little covered areas, a little stage set up. Some shrubs and things are kind of growing up over here, but there's a little fire pit right here and seating. I'm not sure of what events they have, but I'm sure you can go on to the website for Crystal Cove. Just a note, they do have restrooms available here in the lower parking area, and also access to these little day-use picnic tables and field stations is handicap accessible. It is a dirt and gravel type of walkway, a little bit of rocks, I wouldn't say gravel, but it does show wheelchair accessible path of travel. We're going to head our way back to the main trail because we're parked over at the visitor center. So we're going to reconnect with the trail and work our way back around. So there's a little bit of a climb leaving the lower parking area, and it works its way up alongside the campground. But we're going to turn right and parallel the campground area on our way back towards the visitor center. And this is a nice campground to stay at as well. They have options from tent camping to RV spots with hookups. And you have that view over the ocean from up here on this hillside. This is where you work your way back around to the visitor center. You see the ranger station if you work your way to the right here. Here adjacent to the restroom area, you'll see there's an overlook. Information boards on climate change and butterflies. Take a walk up here to the overlook. You'll see they have some picnic tables with a covered area and some information boards with a nice view.